Hello and wonderful, lovely, good evening to you. And welcome to this Facebook Live with Pragmatic Psychology, being different, being possibilities. And so much to say about this topic, being different, being possibilities. It's huge, especially right now with where the world is. So welcome to this Facebook Live with Pragmatic Psychology with the topic being different, being possibilities. Ha! So my first question to you guys is, where in your life, I gotta say, I have a really hard time not starting. I know, like with these Facebook Lives, people say, oh, you have to wait. You have to wait a little bit until people come in before you can get started. And gosh, I have a hard time not starting. I'm like a racehorse, and I've been like a racehorse most of my life. I love riding horses, and usually the horses that I ride, the horses that are my horses, have a lot of energy, and they are really like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Why do we have to stand here? Can we just gallop? So that says nothing about me. Yes, it does. So, having to like wait and stall a little bit until we start this Facebook Live is really hard for me, but I'm doing it right now. How does it get any better than this? And it's like, for example, this, being a racehorse, being like a very fast person. That's something where I know that's one element of, what is, me, if there is something like that. Probably not, because, being us is so undefined. So being that fast, gosh, I have on the one hand allowed myself to be that fast in my life, but then on the other hand, perceiving people judging my fastness, I have slowed myself down pretty much in a lot of areas of my life. And if you look at your life, where are you different that people have judged? Like maybe you are also like someone who's really fast. Let's go, 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 go. What else is possible? Like that. Or maybe you're someone who likes to take it easy, chilled, relaxed, which is wonderful. Like none of those, like the one is not better than the other. It's just different. But it's like whether you've been a go, go, go person, let's go, and fast, or whether you've been a chillaxed, relaxed person. Like how many judgments have you received for that? I know I have, for being fast. And I know like I've slowed myself down. So where have you changed yourself for other people? Holy moly, guys. Wow. So look at that. Like where in your life have you changed yourself, adapted yourself for other people? So other people are happier with you. So you are not too different. So you are not too much. Holy camoli. So I'm going to ask again. And when I ask that question, just, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to look at, oh, this area in my life or that part of my life or that when I was that old. It's much easier. I just ask the question and you just get the download of it, the awareness of it, which is very, very fast. You don't even have to think about it, which is beautiful. When I used to do normal psychology, oh my God, like I was taught like people have to think about it and analyze it. And no, it's not that complicated. Change can be so much easier. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be pragmatic. That's why I call it pragmatic psychology. So it's like when we ask these questions, and I'm saying we, it's like me and other facilitators, whoever, and probably you have been working with, this kind of stuff before. So whenever like someone is asking that question, it's not about thinking about it. It's about getting the awareness of it, which is super fast. It's there many times before you even have finished asking the question. So I'm going to ask again. So where in your life Have you changed yourself for other people? Where in your life have you adapted yourself for other people? I'm looking like this emoji, you know, that one. Because there's a lot of like charge on that question, like just perceiving your guys' worlds. I don't see you physically, but you know, we can all perceive each other wherever we are in the world. We don't have to see each other. We you know, we're so connected that I can actually like perceive your worlds, and you can perceive other people's worlds. That's the capacity we have. Everything you haven't acknowledged about that, will you let it go? Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So that's the access consciousness clearing statement. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. There's a whole video explaining all these words and how they're used and why they're used and how you can use it yourself. You just go to www.thatclearingstatement.com. So yes, Claudia, that's the chat. You're in the right place. So someone just wrote, I have received judgments for being fast or being relaxed. Haha. And me too. What the rhythm have to be the problem? Okay, so maybe there's a typo or something. But it's like, yes. It's like judgments are such a big thing in this world. And whether, you know, you have displayed being, you know, fast or slow or, you know, whatever. It's like, where, I'm going to ask again, where in your life have you changed yourself for other people? Where in your life have you adapted yourself for other people? And will you now choose to let that go? Will you now choose to destroy and uncreate all that? Just, you know, it doesn't have, you don't have to think about it. Just go, yes, I'm done with that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Holy camoli. Because the thing is, if you look at the areas that don't work, you know, take one area in your life that doesn't really, you know, work, that's not easy, you know, whether, oh, is it my Wi-Fi? I hope it's working. Maybe it's money, or maybe it's, you know, I don't know if you heard me because there was a weird thing with my Wi-Fi. So take one area of your life that doesn't really work, where it's not really that easy, okay? And now, look at what have you done with yourself in especially that area of your life. How much have you adapted to other people's points of view, other people's perspectives, other people's views? So let's take, for example, money. Well, you can take money or your body or, you know, whatever. Take one of those. Or any other, whatever, you know, whatever, take which one you want. But it's like, just like those areas of body, you know, how much have you bought from other people about how a body should look like? What's a right body? What's a wrong body? What's a good body? What's a bad body? Holy moly. It's like, do you really have freedom to create your body? No. So everything that is, will you please destroy and create at times a Godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Money. Do I need to say more than just the word money? I mean, there's so much just like that word. Just when you think about money, how much do you get in your world? Well, who does that belong to? How much of that is where you tap into other people's worlds so fast without thinking about it? It's like your level of awareness is probably so off the charts that you haven't even started to acknowledge it. You know, like, for example, just one word, how much download are you getting from all the crap that's been put on money and that subject or any other subject? You know, so, okay, so everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate at times a Godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. But it's like, if you, for example, with money, or we just mentioned two areas of our lives, money and body. So like, if you just look at how many points of view about money and the creation of money have you bought about, you know, from whoever, doesn't matter who that comes from. We don't need to find a bad person to free ourselves. We can just go, hey, how many points of view about money or whatever have I bought? And it's like, this is where you don't have that freedom to truly create what works for you. You don't even, like, it takes away so much energy, it takes away so much creativity that you don't even have the possibility to find out, hey, what would I like to create with my body? What would I like to create with money? What would I like to create with my relationships? It's like, how much are you looking through other people's filters of what do other people find good? What do they find bad? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and yawns. So it's basically like, this world is highly, and I always say that in every interview, no, not every, but many of them. It's like, this world is highly, highly, highly dramatic. It's all about looking at what doesn't work and why it doesn't work, rather than, hey, what question can I ask here? What choice do I have here that allows me to create something and actualize something that I have not ever considered is possible for me? That, and that's the pragmatic perspective, where you go for possibilities when other people are occupying themselves with problems and difficulties. And Ekaterina is writing, Jesus, what a topic. I cut myself enough for others. Absolutely. And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and yawns. But it's exactly, but that's such a valuable awareness to go, wow, holy camole, I've been using so much energy, thoughts, time to, doing what's good for other people, doing what's, and I mean, good for their limitations, like what works for them limitation wise, like trying to adapt to their points of view, to their judgments, to their limitations, rather than figuring out, hey, where am I different? What do I know? And how would I like to create my life? And if you start into that direction, if you start to look at, okay, rather than solving problems, because that's what most of us have been taught, like spending our days solving problems or inventing problems or already projecting on the future what kind of problems will occur. It's like, if you look at your business, how many or your job, how many problems are you already projecting into the future? Everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and yawns. It's crazy. It's like where you have learned, you've been basically taught to drive yourself crazy every single day. And so this is one way of living, okay? Like one way of living, and this is the way we've been taught, is to look at problems, looking at what else do I have to fix and solve. And that's one way of being. That's normal. That's average. That's real. That's the same as everybody else. And how different are you willing to be? How different are you willing to be where in your life it's not about fixing problems. It's not about worrying. It's not about projecting problems into the future. But it's about being the space of ease and joy and glory, without having to know how you get there. And there's so many ways you can train yourself to do that. So many ways. So one simple, easy, cheesy way, and the funny thing is it's really simple, easy, cheesy ways, is, for example, most of us in the Europe zone have summertime. Go outside, put your naked feet on the grass and ask the earth, hey, Earth, can you please show me what else is possible creating my life in a way that works for me? And then just stand there and let the earth, let the trees around you, let the grass show you. Let it show you and your body. Because if you look at trees, there's not one tree that has a burnout syndrome. There's not one bird that is depressed. There is not one leaf or tree or bush that has a bipolar syndrome. Why do you think that is? It's like nature and earth does not function from what's wrong. Nature and earth functions from, okay, what's going on? what's required, and what are we aware of that the future requires. It's like animals, trees, plants always function from an awareness of the future. What is the future requiring of us to keep on thriving rather than just surviving? And that's what you can, mimic from the earth. This is what you can mimic. You can mimic problems, but you can also mimic possibilities. So, and that is really something. For example, today I've been sitting with my cat. We have a cat that, a couple of weeks ago, he just stood in front of our door, and he was very determined that this is his home. And the funny thing is, long ago, I've been asking for a cat. I forgot that I asked for a cat, but I love cats. And basically he was standing there meowing like crazy, saying, hello, somebody asked for a cat here. I am here. This is like the door cat delivery. I am available. I'm here. And by the way, I've decided this is my home. So he basically moved in. There was no doubt. There was no in his world. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He was so determined, so perseverant in his meowing and looking into he was basically jumping on every like thingy-lingy so he could, watch it go, like look into the window and go, meow, meow, I'm here. And until we let him in. And now he lives here and he's wonderful. He's such a gift. And today I was sitting with him and he was on my lap, and cats are wonderful, right, Lila? They are just magical. And he was like purring and enjoying his body and going, oh, nom, nom, nom. And such orgasmic living. And so I asked, hey, cat, can you in your body show me and my body what else is possible with my life, with my body that I have never considered? And he did, and there was a level of peace and ease and kindness and playfulness that I knew I am, but then he showed me again, and it's like, wow, thank you for showing me. Thank you for reminding me. And so when I say you have choice, you have choice. You can live like everybody else. You can live like other people, solving problems, worrying, and projecting limitations on the future, or you can go for possibilities when other people are not. And that requires a willingness to be different. And to get there, as I said, one of the tools is to ask ask the animals to show you. Because it's not that you don't know. It's not that you have no idea. Otherwise, you wouldn't listen to this Facebook Live. You would already have turned off, gone, okay, this is bullshit. I don't need this. Like if you still listen to this, how much is this already part of your world? But you probably have forgotten. You probably were so busy adapting yourself to other people that you have forgotten that this is you. So what if you ask to be reminded, like this Facebook Live and the energy I am flowing at you, what I'm saying, what if you receive it? What if this is something you receive and allow yourself to have and be? What if you also invite the earth, the nature, the animals to show you, to download to you, the space, the ease, the difference you are. There you go. And this is the space where you be different and you be possibilities when other people are not choosing it. And this is a totally different space of functioning from. You probably will see possibilities that other people don't even see. Like one tiny, very, easy cheesy example is like, for example, how many times have you been asking for something? Let's say easy cheesy, how many times have you been asking for a parking space and it showed up and other people were driving by and they didn't see that parking space, but you did? Or how many times have you been going, oh my God, it would be so great to have something beautiful to sit down, in the park or in the woods, or have a place to rest where it's just beautiful, and it showed up and you saw it because you asked for it and you were different enough and magical enough to receive it? Well, these are just tiny examples. So where in your life are you already being that? Where in your life are you already doing that? That if you would acknowledge it, would allow you to be more of it, receive more of it, create it more, actualize it more. And Lila is writing, I would really like to perceive more possibilities with my accounting. It's driving me crazy. Well, there's some things you don't have to do yourself. Like I used to do years ago when I started my business, I used to do my accounting myself. And it was so horrible that I started to drink red wine to it, which didn't help. And but then I realized, what else is possible with accounting, and is this something that creates more if I do it, or should I ask someone else to do it for me? So then I found someone who's doing my accounting who's brilliant at it, and who does it so diligently and like precisely that I couldn't do that to myself, and it wouldn't be a kindness to me. It wouldn't be a kindness to my business if I did it myself. So there are certain things when you ask these questions, you become really clear on what creates more in my life and what doesn't, and you invite other people to contribute to you. But that takes a level of receiving. It takes letting go of the points of view, oh, nobody would do it, or it doesn't show up or whatever. It's like, it will show up. It's like the universe has your back to a degree that is incredible. It's like when you ask for things, they might not show up yesterday. They might not show up like tomorrow, 8 a.m., but they will show up eventually. Unfortunately, creating our lives requires a soupçon of patience. Actually, more than a soupçon of patience. It requires a big portion of patience. And, if you ask for a change in your life, things have to rearrange themselves. And sometimes it takes a while. When I'm getting cranky, when I'm getting frustrated with things not being as fast and not, showing up as fast as I desire, I always remind myself of a good friend of mine, Gary Douglas. We, by the way, wrote a book together called Advanced Pragmatic Psychology, which is brilliant. And he is a big inspiration for me because he created Access Consciousness. He's the founder of Access Consciousness, and it's a worldwide huge movement which has brilliant tools and tools we use in pragmatic psychology and so many other areas. And he, when he started with these tools, when he started with this different perspective, he was alone in the world. Nobody could hear him. And I think he was alone for 2 decades or more. And I'm like, he was going, is there ever anybody will there ever be anybody being able to hear what I have to say and what I would like to invite people to? And he could, his sense was, yes, but I have to be patient. And he was patient for more than 2 decades. And I'm like, if he can be patient with this huge awareness that he had, with these incredible tools that nobody could hear, if he could be alone with this and have the patience to wait for people to show up who can hear it, I'm done whining. I'm not going to be cranky. I'm not going to give myself the luxury to be upset about things not showing up as fast as I would like. I'm going to actually expand my patience. I'm going to choose patience. And that always helps me. I know all of us seekers are the most impatient people on the planet, which is a wonderful gift. And what if we choose patience as well? What if we add that and take time out of the equation of our creations? Yeah. So what else is possible with this? And by the way, I mentioned Gary Douglas and my book, Advanced Pragmatic Psychology. If you haven't read it, get it. There's another pragmatic psychology book, which is called Pragmatic Psychology, Practical Tools for Being Crazy Happy. That's the first one. That's the first pragmatic psychology book. I wrote it by myself. And then the second one, Gary and I wrote together. And I'm actually starting a 6-month program on June 30th. 6 months, 2 calls per month, where it's all about expanding your ease, your joy, your glory, being pragmatic in all areas. We're going to talk about relationship, money, marketing, parenting, creation, business, money, like all of these areas, and extrapolating possibilities that, probably you haven't fathomed before. There's a whole universe of possibilities available. So if this is something that calls on you, 6 month starting June 30th. Someone will probably put the link down there. I'm just reminding myself of that possibility. I'm so looking forward to this. So just know there's a whole buffet of possibilities out there, a whole buffet of inspiration for you. There's also a free Pragmatic Psychology podcast every second week. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on my webpage. It's like inspiration, 20 minutes every second week for free. You can listen to it in the radio anywhere. And it's amazing. And by the way, if you have any requests for topics, please let me know. I'm really interested in what you would like me to talk about. So that is for the podcast. Let me know. I'm open for ideas. And there's also, before I forget, we also have something that is like making me so extremely happy. We have this Pragmatic Practitioner program. I'm hearing like since years from people who work with people, like coaches, facilitators, therapists, parents, hairdressers, like anybody who works with people. I always hear from people, I need something else. I need a different way of working with people. So with Pragmatic Psychology, we have a totally different perspective and a whole totally different system of working with clients and people and kids and parents and, working with parents also, working with anybody and with incredible tools. So if you want to find out a different way of working with yourself and clients and people, whoever those people are, the class is called Pragmatic Practitioner, and it's a 4-day class. You need foundation, bars and foundation as a prereq. And it's incredible to see these people go from, I don't know if I can do this. I am bored at my job. I am frustrated. I don't think I can do it. Or some people who have never had a client in their life who want to start coaching. This is the program where people go, wow, I can do this. It's so beautiful to see how these people are empowered to know that they can do it and that they have the thing, that they have what it takes to facilitate people. So this is a wonderful class that I can highly recommend. And the next one is June 25 to 28. And live in Italy and also online with translation in different languages. So, as I said, there's a big buffet out there with Pragmatic Psychology. And if you have any ideas, any, things that you would like me to add or consider, let me know. I'm always open for new things, always creating. So again, how different can you allow yourself to be? Where things just come to you with ease, joy, and glory. And you know what? When you relax, and that was the thing I talked for with nature and with asking nature and the animals to show you what you know and what your body knows. This is the moment where you start to relax. And when you relax, truly all of life can come to you with ease and joy and glory. Like someone calling you and telling you you are stupid or you're not good enough or you did this wrong. When you relax, when you trust yourself, when you know what you know, none of this matters anymore. And what if today is the day where judgments do not matter to you anymore? Whether it's your own judgments or other people's judgments. What would be available to you if you would be so kind to you and if judgments would just be not relevant in your world anymore? Just for a moment, ponder what would be available to you. What creativity, what possibilities would be available to you if judgments would no longer be relevant? And now get that energy, pull it into your body, pull that kindness, that ease, and that space into your body. You don't need to know how, just do it. Don't think about it. And this is what's possible. And when you lose it, just ask for that energy again, and it's yours. Choose in 10 seconds increments. And so I'm going to leave you with that. And if you have any more requests about what you would like me to talk about or do or and yeah, create with you guys. Let me know. I'm always open, and wishing you more ease and joy and glory than is normal. Big kisses. Thank you for you. Mwah.